Welcome to another episode of Manners on the Go. We've been able to talk about some annoying habits from your wife and husband. But I know there's still one question in your heart left unanswered, which is why you're watching this video today. Yes, we've talked about the problems. What then are the solutions? Or would I rather ask, are there any? Here are 10 ways to go about it.
Manners on the Go.
Welcome to another episode of Manners on the Go. You know by now it's a good feeling to have you here. I want to assure you that this is one of the many interesting episodes and I'd like to welcome you again. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any updates. We've been able to talk about some annoying habits from your wife and husband. But I know there's still one question in your heart left unanswered, which is why you're watching this video today. Yes, we've talked about the problems. What then are the solutions? Or would I rather ask, are there any? If you missed any of the videos, I've dropped the link to both videos in the description. You should check them out. It's normal to be annoyed with your spouse's habits. It's also fairly common to discover that the two of you have conflicting personalities. What you need to remember is that you willingly chose to marry them. Not just because you shared some similarities, but also because there were some differences. There isn't any precise explanation for how people choose to act or react. However, there are ways to influence certain human actions, not only for their sake, but for your mental stability, which is why we must talk about how to manage your spouse's annoying habits. Whether it be from yourself or your spouse, these habits can start to get under your skin and cause conflict in the relationship. However, with proper management of annoying habits, you can keep the peace in your marriage and even grow closer because of it. So today, here are 10 ways to go about it. Number 1, acceptance. This is where you learn to accept your spouse for who they are. This is not an easy task, but it can be accomplished by the conscious effort put into learning more about your spouse and what makes them tick. By accepting the things that drive you crazy about your spouse, you'll learn to appreciate them even more. You know, patience is a virtue. Ask yourself if you're willing to make a compromise or to let go. Your spouse is human after all. Accept and calibrate the behaviors. Number 2, have a crucial conversation. Have a conversation with your spouse about the habits. Talk about how the habit makes you feel rather than blaming them for it. That way they are more likely to understand what you're saying and why they should stop. You see, sometimes you don't say what exactly annoys you and the other person just finds you cranky and grumpy. So why don't you be specific? I think you're an amazing sweetheart. But when I hear you chew loudly while eating, it grates on me. I know it's a hard habit to stop, but could you please try? Number 3, focus on what matters. Please understand that behavior is not who we are. Behavior is what we do. When some annoying habits drive you crazy, it's important to focus on what matters in a relationship. If your spouse has the habit of leaving their dirty socks on the floor, it may seem like a big deal to you and lead to conflict. But if the two of you can learn to focus on what matters in your relationship, then it will help you tremendously when dealing with annoying habits from your spouse. Number 4, identify, not judge. When addressing your spouse's annoying habits with them, be careful not to sound judgmental. You don't need to reel out anything from the history books. Instead, respectfully state briefly how it makes you feel. Let them know the importance of you communicating it with them and make sure not to speak out of resentment. Whatever you want to say, make it as brief as possible to avoid saying what ought not to be said. Be precise. Number 5, take control. Let's say you've identified with your partner and communicated how their habits makes you feel and you're not getting any positive reactions. What then do you do? Take control. When your spouse's annoying habit starts to get under your skin, you need to take control of the situation and put an end to it. If you let your spouse's annoying habits rule over you, then they will win. It is important for you to navigate those emotions and then find a replacement thought. To avoid building up negative thought patterns about your partner as a result of their annoying habits, you need to find a positive replacement thought. You may want to justify your negative thoughts towards them where you think they should be the ones making the adjustments, not you. And yes, you may be right, but here are the words of Mark and Angel. Train your mind to see the good in everything. Positivity is a choice. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So, if you build up angry thoughts, you lead an angry life. But if you build up positive, graceful and peaceful thoughts, you lead a happier life. If you can, just do it instead. I understand how unpleasant it is to find his shoes at the dining table, or our hair lying around, or see the toothpaste pressed from the middle. But do yourself a favor by doing it yourself. I mean, that makes it -1 from the number of complaints and stress you'll have to experience in your lifetime. And believe me, you want to reduce your stress level as much as you can. Let me give you a personal experience. Because my parents were both 9 to 5ers, we were raised doing the deep house chores on Saturday mornings. So typically scrubbing floors and bathrooms and the general deep cleaning around the house were done on Saturdays in my home. On the other hand, my husband was raised to scrub the bathroom every morning, dirty or not. So the first clash we had living together in matrimony was me wanting to do my deep cleaning on Saturdays and he not having it. He complained a lot in the first few months, but I couldn't wrap scrubbing the house on weekdays around my head. I was quite adamant. But I noticed something. He started doing it himself for peace sake. He realized he couldn't change me, and constantly complaining was not doing us any good. So every morning, he'll pick up the brush and give the bathroom a good scrub. That action didn't reduce him as the man or head of the home. In fact, he's always earned my biggest respect. Give it time. Before considering this option, please know that some annoying habits take a while. In fact, some would take a lifetime. So you might also have to include the option of giving yourself time to get used to them. Number 9, begin the change chain. Change not only because of your partner, but for your mental health and self-growth. Instead of complaining or nagging, look forward to your peace of mind. Convince yourself that you are the bigger body who stands to take responsibility. Learn to enjoy your personal growth. Know that you are neither perfect. Before you start thinking of ways to change your spouse, it's important to have it at the back of your mind that you are also as imperfect as your partner. Whatever you are to do or address, do so in a way you'd like it done to you. Love regardless. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 8 states what it truly means to love. The truth is, this may seem pretty difficult, and I believe your thoughts might be, TBC, it's easier said than done. I know, but guess what? It's the beginning of a pathway to true joy and peace for yourself and your marriage. Please read the whole chapter of that scripture for a better understanding. Now hear this. If you notice your spouse is making conscious effort towards loving and living as peacefully as they can with you, please don't be the troublesome one. Grow alongside them and find ways to please each other. Read books. Go on Google, watch YouTube videos like this, and research how to be a better spouse to your partner. Listen to each other's concerns instead of seeking each other's fault. Love is a consistent practice. Try to live it. There may be no such thing as the perfect partner, but an ideal partner can be found in someone who has developed themselves in certain ways that go beyond looks, charm, and success. If you have some other suggestions on how to manage your spouse's annoying habits, please do well to state them below. Let's all learn something new. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share with your friends, like it, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. See you soon. Goodbye.
Manners on the Go.